That down, let's talk about this. Despite the fact that I still have some enthusiasm for Kraven, and I'm looking forward to seeing it, even though I'm seeing all the mixed reviews. Maybe I'll hate it, but I'm going to go into the theater with some optimism. The reality, though, is that a number of weeks ago, the long-range box office projections came out for it, and they were abysmal. They were targeting a $20 to $25 million opening for Kraven, which is disastrous. Make no mistake about it. That's a disastrous opening. Well, somehow the news just got worse as the now updated box office projections have come in, and those horrible projections have dropped by like 25%. As Variety's reporting that box office is now aiming for a $15 million opening, maybe as low as 13. Variety wrote this: Kraven the Hunter could get declawed in its big screen debut. The comic book spin-off set in Sony's universe of Marvel characters is targeting a paltry $13 to $15 million from 3,200 theaters in its opening weekend. Based on projections, Kraven the Hunter could contend with February's misfire Madam Web that opened to $15.3 million for the what's his words? Ignominious? Anyway, distinction of the lowest start among Sony-produced Marvel adventures. Aaron Taylor Johnson stars as the eponymous anti-hero in the R-rated film, which faced a litany of pandemic and strike-related release date delays on its long and winding journey to theaters. Kraven the Hunter cost an upward of $110 million to produce. It was greenlit for 90, but ballooned after last year's writers and actor strikes. That's understandable. Which ended up being considerably more than the $80 million price tag for Madam Web. Anyway, I think what we are seeing here is a byproduct of a couple of things. One is not a very robust ad campaign for Kraven. That's one of the factors. Just one of them. But they haven't had a big, robust marketing campaign. The biggest thing they've done is release the first 8 minutes, which ironically is also probably the best thing they did, right, is releasing those first 8 minutes. Secondly, a lot of the mixed reactions now coming out is making the box office analysts dropping their projections. But the third thing, I think, is the same thing that we saw happen with the DCEU. Audiences have given up on it. They've given up on it. After Madam Web, after Morbius, Venom 3 had some goodwill carrying with it because audiences liked the first two Venom movies. So even though not on the same scale, they came back out for Venom 3. Venom 3, by the way, is starting to approach $500 million.
And the marketing was fun. I thought it was some of the best trailers for Venom 3.
Venom 3, you mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. So they did a good job there. But despite that, it seems like the audiences have put Venom kind of in its own thing, and then the world of Kraven, Madam Web, and Morbius, they've seemed to lump together. And it's kind of been, we've been here, we've seen this, so we're going to take a pass. And look, guys, there's just no other way to put this. This is cataclysmic. This is horrible. Now, here's the funny part. Chris, you weren't here when we talked about this, but if you take all the Spider-Man movies, even let's take into account Kraven is going to be a huge flop. Let's take that into account. If you take all the recent Spider-Man films that Sony has produced in this kind of era.
The homes.
Right? Like, not counting Sam Raimi's Spider-Man or Andrew Garfield's Spider-Man, but this new thing. You take you take Madam Web, Kraven, Morbius, Venoms 1, 2, and 3,
and do a big marathon.
Into the Spider-Verse and across the Spider-Verse. Here's the reality. We did the math.
Yeah.
Sony's profitable.
Yep.
Oh.
Yeah. The wins outweigh
Sony and considerably profitable. That when you take like for instance, Spider-Man Beyond the Spider-Verse was a massive, massive profitable thing.
Yeah.
Huge.
Into the Spider-Verse was profitable. Venom 3 made over $800 million. Venom 2 was profitable. Venom 3 is profitable. And it's made up for like the $120 million loss they took on Morbius, the $100+ million loss they took on Madam Web, and $100 and some odd million loss they're going to take on Kraven. Sony's still profitable, which is crazy when you think about it.
Yeah.
You know, it's kind of like poker. Forgive me, everybody knows I'm a poker player, so forgive me, but I mean, you can lose 20 hands in poker, but if they're small, if they're manageable losses, you lose. Then all of a sudden you get dealt pocket aces, go all in, flop a set, and that one win can make you profitable on the night as a whole, even though you lost like 15 other hands, right? That's kind of what Sony's situation is like. We take a few losses, but our wins are big, and they're still profitable, which is crazy, but it is. It's the reality. That's the math, guys. Go do it yourself.
Well,
Sony is still up on this.
And furthermore, you have losses to go up against your profits too.
So, I mean, that's kind of the situation they're in. How this affects them moving forward, I'm not sure. Guys, we want to take a second to thank a sponsor of today's episode, Miracle Made. Guys, it's hot outside and your nighttime bedroom temperature has a huge impact on your sleep quality. So if you wake up too hot or too cold, I highly recommend you check out Miracle Made's bed sheets. Miracle Made sheets are inspired by NASA and use silver-infused fabrics that are temperature regulating so you can sleep at the perfect temperature all night long. There are just so many things that make these sheets so fantastic. We already mentioned the self-cooling properties for better quality sleep, but they're also self-cleaning. These sheets are infused with silver that prevent up to 99.7% of bacterial growth, leaving them to stay cleaner and fresh 3 times longer than other sheets. No more gross odors. So go to trymiracle.com/Campea. That's TRYMIRACLE.com/Campea to try Miracle Made sheets today. And whether you're buying them for yourself or as a gift for a loved one, if you order today, you can save over 40%. And if you use our promo code Campea at checkout, you'll get 3 free towels and save an extra 20%. Miracle is so confident in their product, it's backed with a 30-day money-back guarantee. So if you aren't 100% satisfied, you'll get a full refund. So upgrade your sleep with Miracle Made. Go to trymiracle.com/Campea and use the code Campea to claim your free 3-piece towel set and save over 40% off. Again, that's trymiracle.com/Campea to treat yourself. Thank you, Miracle Made, for sponsoring this episode. Chris, the new projections are 13 to 15 million.
Mm-hmm.
Does it hit that? Does it come under that? Does it actually overperform and come in over that? Because we are hearing people buzzing, maybe for the wrong reasons.
Yeah.
What do you think is going to happen here with Kraven opening weekend?
Well, it kind of is that two roads diverge kind of moment here of, are people going to go see this because, oh man, Madam Web was such a train wreck. What a shite show. Let's go. This has to be, this is going to be fun. Because we saw how people tuned in at least once it was on streaming and how that was suddenly the Netflix's #1 film that's streaming right now because people wanted to see the train wreck that was. Now, are people going to pay money to go see that? That's the question. I mean, all of us in here, we already have our movie subscription kind of passes and everything, so we're going to go see this movie regardless. But I'm wondering if people are going to go see it in theaters because Sony has had such an abysmal track record with these characters. Also, with this movie, we had Madam Web open to about 4,000 theaters. Forbes reported that Kraven is opening to less than 3,200.
Yeah.
That's 800
That's where
less
they rounded out,
theaters.
3,200 things.
And so we are going to obviously have less screens for this to be on. And part of that too is, we've seen this at CinemaCon, you're constantly selling your movie to the exhibitors. You are constantly selling your movie to the movie theaters themselves to take up screens, to have them show their movies. And Sony definitely, even if they are profiting off of those Venom films or some of the Spider properties, they aren't earning the trust of movie theater operators.
Right.
Of going, these are quality films that we should put in our theaters. So my personal thought is that this is going to perform less than what's being projected, probably around 11 or 12, right? I don't think it's going to hit that 15. But we could see a surge of people who ironically want to go see this, make fun of it, enjoy whatever Regal's beverage is that goes with it.
Yeah.
Because, man, that Madam Web watermelon margarita, it got me through a rough time.
Now, I'll say this too. At 3,200 theaters, make no mistake, that still qualifies as a robust, massive, wide release.
Yeah.
Like make no mistake about that.
Absolutely.
Like 4,000 is bigger. And for some of you think, well, then if it makes less money, it's because it was on less screens. No. At 3,200 screens, that number means anybody in the US who wants to go see it has a movie theater close to them playing it.
Absolutely.
So it's not going the only way going from 4,000 down to 3,200 would affect the box office is if all the showings were going to sell out. And we just didn't have those 800 extra things to fill
Yeah.
in the space. No. None of these theaters are going to sell out. There's plenty of seats for everybody. I know I've got our tickets for opening day. The theater still this tomorrow. First showings is tomorrow. The theater we're seeing it in is still half empty.
Wow.
So I mean, there's plenty of seats. Anybody thinking about going to see Kraven and they're just holding off? Well, I don't want to go if the theater's too crowded. I got good news for you. They ain't going to be that crowded.
Yeah, and
Unless they're going to see Wicked and Moana 2.
And here's a time where R-rated actually hurts it further, because now you're not even going to get those weekend parents that are like, well, let's go do something that's taken to a movie. There's a Marvel movie out. Let's go check out Kraven. Now they can't. They're going to be like, well, that's brutally violent. It's rated R. So there again, it's going to hurt it. It's not like a Deadpool and Wolverine situation.
There are 4 people in each of these showings for the 5 o'clock and the 8 o'clock at the theater near me. There are only 4 tickets bought for
4
each.
people.
And it's the same 4 people.
Wow.
4?
4 total. And I live in North Hollywood.
North Hollywood, yeah.
Like,
Let's
it's
see.
a popular
AMC.
theater.
I'm looking up the Burbank location.
Are they all going to see 4DX?
It also raises this question for me.
Kraven?
You're not going to see 40X.
Let's see.
It just shakes as his ear gets bitten off.
It
Okay,
also
that one actually has like 15 people in it.
it raises this question for me too. Where does Sony go after this? Because again, as we pointed out, that story that Sony is done making these. No, they're not. That story is completely wrong. They are going to. They're just stopping for now because they've got animated ones coming. They've got the Spider-Man Noir coming, and they've got Spider-Man 4 coming that they're doing with Marvel. And then they are going to go back and start making these again. This whole report that Sony's officially stopped making them, not true. Anyway, where do they go from here, though?
Straight to hell.
Because, I mean, are audiences going to be lining up to see a Silver Sable movie?
No.
I don't think so.
Nope.
They're especially with these kinds of characters, you're appealing to more hardcore comic book readers or people who were so in love with the animated series or have watched these movies religiously and then they've done their homework on knowing who all these tertiary characters are. People like my mom and dad who will go see a superhero movie. My dad, one of his favorite movies of all time is Iron Man. He loves the Iron Man movies, has never read a comic book in his life. He's not going to go see these movies because he's like, oh yeah, I saw that horrible Madam Web thing, and I don't think I'm going to see any more of those spider people ones unless you tell me to go see it.
Those spider people.
Like
ones.
that's how he views it, right? So I think your average moviegoer is going to go, Silver Sable, I don't know who she is. What is this? And it's from the same people who brought me those really bad movies, and I'm going to sleep on that.
By the way, I just want my movie theater just brought this up. Tomorrow, opening day for Kraven, 6:15, AMC laser projection. Here's the seat map.
Burbank's looking better though. The IMAX
Is
is
it?
like 2/3 full.
Okay.
Okay, but that's an IMAX first day. This is a regular AMC laser theater, 6:15 p.m. opening day. Now, that's this one. Here's I'm going to have to scroll back down. I don't know why AMC website does this, where every time I go back, I have to scroll
The
again.
other ones are empty though.
Now, here's if you want to go to the 7:30 p.m. Dolby Prime. Okay. Opening day, 7:30 p.m. Dolby Prime. That one's doing better.
Hey, there you go.
But that's the one special theater. All the other ones are empty.
Yeah, that's the same with the Burbank theaters. Other than the IMAX, they're not doing great.
Yeah. So I don't know. Maybe it's just people who love Kraven love putting things off to the last minute. And they're all going to come running out tomorrow.
They're like, you know what the most dangerous game is? Last minute movie tickets.
Yeah.
Like, the hunt is on.
Hunt is on.
By the way, here's my screening. That's Ann and me. That's a 2 p.m. screening. That's the very first screening. This is the very first screening of the day tomorrow for Kraven the Hunter opening day. That's us. That's Ann and I. There's Ann and I and 6 other people.
Yeah.
Ann and I. So Ray, good news. We have tickets available right beside. You can still get a ticket and come sit
Right next to
beside
us.
us.
Oh yeah, I'm doing that right now.
Yeah, go buy that ticket.
I'm doing
I
it.
mean, yeah. Woo, it's not looking good, folks. And listen, I am not one of these negative peddlers. I'm not trying to trash on you.
You've genuinely been looking forward to
I
seeing
have
this.
genuinely been looking forward to this movie. I have been the one saying, hey, maybe there's hope. Maybe there's
I
hope.
love that optimism.
But you got to call a spade a spade. This is horrible.
Pretty bleak.
This bleak is the perfect word.
Yeah.
It's looking bleak.
It's not great.
They
We'll
might have to
see
go
how
to-
it turns out. We'll see how it turns out. Anyway, guys, question is for you. What do you think about this? The already terrible box office projections for Kraven have just dropped by another 25% down to a $15 million opening, which would be a smaller opening than Madam Web. Do you think it'll come in lower than that? Do you think, no, that's just being pessimistic. It'll do better than that. I don't know. Whatever you guys think, jump down to the comment section below and let us know your thoughts. Hey guys, thanks so much for watching this video. Make sure you like the video, leave a comment, and subscribe to our channel. And don't forget, we have a daily podcast called the John Campea Show podcast, available on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or your favorite podcasting app of choice. Go and subscribe to it today so it'll be there when you need it.